I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
When the weekend began, 24 teams descended upon the Vernon Curling Club for the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic, and now just 2 remain. This is the finals. It's Xiao Ming from China versus Brent Pierce of Westminister, BC. A very pleasant good day and welcome to our coverage here on Curling Stadium. I'm Dave Schmel and I'm joined by Shawn, Joyce, and we are here for the final today, buddy.
We are, and they're underway quick. I'm assuming that must mean that it's the Zhu team that has to catch a plane, because Brent should be able to drive home from here. Play in the first end came into the rings. There's been a few hits exchanged. A rollout on the last attempt.
I believe we're on third stones now. This should be Jiu Wang. Looks like both teams are just getting their legs under them, and maybe they said that they had to get a plane to catch. Why don't we get one out of the way? But we'll see how it works out. Here's Cody Johnston. Returning the hit. I like to welcome everybody watching on Curling Stadium. Please feel free to join with us in the chat. Do our very best to answer any questions you may have. We always enjoy the interaction and feedback from our listening audience. We see both teams just trading rocks up and down. So
I had to peek, since I said that Brent could drive home after the game. I had to look it up to see how far that drive is. It's a little longer than I thought, but just about 4.5 to 5 hours probably.
That's not too bad. That's like from here to from my house to Pittsburgh, so not too bad. Speaking of Pittsburgh, Ian Andrew says hello. As we go through these stones, Shawn, the Pierce team, they came through the A event here.
They did. They're undefeated coming into this game. Coming through the A event, the one problem you can run into, we saw with one of the A event qualifiers lost the first one. You're finished at noonish on Saturday. I think it was a 12:15 draw local time. That was the qualifying game. And then you didn't play again till this morning. Now, they all would have had practice ice yesterday. But it's that first game coming back off the layoff, because these rocks are all conditioned before they start the event. They curl very aggressively, and they still curl plenty, don't get me wrong, but they will straighten out a little bit as you continue to play. So every once in a while you'll see an A event team kind of get caught, because the conditions aren't quite exactly the same when they come back Monday morning as they were when they finished playing Saturday afternoon. Usually, though, if you can get through that first game, the morning game on championship day, in pretty good shape. You're well rested.
Yeah,
it's the battle.
It definitely is a battle. The Pierce rank came through Dangerfield, Hood, King, Lee, and King again just a few minutes ago. That was a good game.
But still only playing their 6th of the weekend. Now, could have been worse for Zhu. He's playing his, I had that in front of me. Where did I put it? Too many screens open. They came through the B, so it's not as bad as it could have been. If you happen to have to come through the C event, it's a long trip. And I saw that with the quarterfinal that I had to do this morning. The team that came through the C and had to play last night just didn't look like they had their legs under them this morning.
we continue to trade hits here. Yes, this is the 7th game.
Yeah.
For
Found it. Too many windows, but I did find it.
For Shoes Ranked. Their path to the finals was the defeats of Beck and Montgomery, then a loss to Abe.
And that was in an A qualifier, so then he drops directly into a B qualifier.
And followed that by 2 wins against Kolomaya and De Jong, and then just the win now against Abe, which we just saw. Total of 24 teams. Total purse size of $28,500. 6,000 of which will go to the winner of this match. 5,000 to the runner-up.
A little chuckle there for Brent Pierce, but I think it was a case of, let's make sure I don't throw a guard here. Just through the back. Final skip stones here.
Lots of smiles there from Shu. Looks like he might have left his front end a little bit more work than he wanted to there. It's not going to make it. So a free shot here for Pierce.
Yeah, just a throw through for the blank. He had a throw through for the blank in the first end in his semifinal as well.
That's right, Pierce does have hammer here.
And I didn't see how it happened, but I see he blanked the first end in his quarterfinal this morning. Had to look. There's a trend happening here.
So final stone at number 1. Pierce here for the throw through. Gonna look to get a line on what the sheet's doing here.
Well, this morning he blanked the first end and caught 4 in the second. This afternoon he blanked the first end and got 3 in the second. Do you dare say he's got him right where he wants him?
Well, the blank is in the books, and we'll find out if he does have him lined up in his sights when we come back from Vernon right after this.
It is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
And we're back here in Vernon. It's the Prestige Hotel and Resorts Curling Classic. Dave Schmel and Shawn Joyce with you for the final of this event. So with the first blank underway, Brent Pierce still has the hammer. Shawn, how do you think he's going to look to set this up?
Well, there's already 2 rocks down there. I need to see where they ended up. It looks like we're going to have another open end here. Well, an attempt at an open end, and then a miss.
The plot thickens.
And now he'll throw the guard. It's always tough to know because we didn't see the start of this end, but when the exchange of hits is happening that near the front of the house, I wonder if it wasn't called for a guard and just slipped in. Because it's nowhere near the 4-foot.
So here's Nick Umbuck. We're going to see this time how many times I call Cody Johnson, because I have a good curling friend named Cody Johnson. That's going to be inevitable for me, I think.
Well, that is a really tight guard. That even more makes me think perhaps there was a guard call to start the end and it slid in. Had a game here earlier, and I apologize, I can't remember whether it's today even. There's been so many different venues, but you had to question just the way it was running if it might not have been a little bit keener towards the glass. You do see that once in a while. Teams should know that by now, though.
So you see the double takeout there made, leaving an empty house. So now we're going to get our first good look at Cody Johnston throwing a stone.
That was exciting there for a second to have two rocks in play at the same time.
Well,
Hopefully that happens again later on in the game.
well, you know, you can reach for your blood pressure medicine and calm on down. Don't get too excited there, buddy.
Looking for the corner guard here, and this looks like it's got plenty of speed too.
That indeed does come on down and approaches the rings, and it's just going to slip in.
So I don't think we're going to have two rocks in play after this one's thrown either.
Yep, almost replaced the Owen O'Canigan.
The other thing that is a possibility here, we're down to just the one game. There's only 8 bodies out there. Ice might have gotten just a little bit colder, and if that happens, sometimes it will keen up. Can also straighten up a little bit when that happens too. We'll have to watch for that.
That does hold on to the rings. So look for that to be dismissed in short order.
Brent does have last rock here, so you saw him indicate, just hit this on the nose. He won't be in the rings, but it's a tight corner guard. And if Zhu was to hit it on the nose again, I think you might see him come around. First things first, he's got to hit this on the nose. Looks like they might be... Nope, he's got it. Got to try to roll in now.
So on that attempt will be Jiu Wang.
Brent left that out of the rings for a reason. Wasn't calling to roll in at all. Was a little too far and out of play on the other side, but better there than to nose hit.
Now he's going to look to put the corner up again. Cody Johnston from Thunder Bay.
Matthew Blatford from somewhere else.
And now you're going to make me get another screen up.
Well, it's we're falling a little behind with the rock counter, so this is we're on the third stones now. And yet another guard that slips into the 12-foot.
Well, Matthew's from Cold Lake, Alberta.
was pretty sure he was somewhere in Alberta.
He's originally a Newfie from Stevensville.
You know, when you say that, I think somebody else told me that somewhere along the line too, but I remember playing him out of Alberta at one point in time. Or at least being at events that he was at where he was coming out of Alberta.
And that's going to skid around over to the side and hang on. So the man from Cold Lake is going to try to bring the heat to this stone. Clips it and rolls open again, and I feel like we've been here before.
Yeah, we're maybe 8 or 9 times already through 2 ends. You know, if it is running a little keener here in this final, and you've seen, as I said, a number of guards already slip into the rings, it might be nice for a few of these players that they get a chance to throw a draw when there's no pressure. Because, boy, if you were trying to throw a draw to the tee line around a guard or something like that, the way it's running right now, it'd be pretty easy, it looks like, to put it in the back 12. You need to almost get one under your belt just to know how fast it is.
So working on finding that draw weight.
He's the only guy on the sheet that threw one short in the last end, and it was his very last stone. He's got the top of the 4-foot now.
Brent's going to line this up for the hit from New Westminister, BC. It was at one point the largest city in BC before it was passed by Vancouver early in the 20th century.
Before my time. I'll have to take your word for it, Dave. Brent will be looking to stay somewhere in the middle, but maybe just roll a little bit just to change the shot. You'd like to stay somewhere in the middle so that you've got a more comfortable throw for your last one with the blank. And he's gonna hit it right on the beak. A little roll to the outside. Not playing with time clocks here, but skip already down at the other end. We used to refer to that as banking time, but there's no time to bank here. That's one where they actually could have taken just a moment to think about that. It's worth trying to just roll and hang it onto the edge of the 12-foot. It at least makes the shot a little tougher. And if you roll out, is that the end of the world? You don't expect a miss on this shot. But there are stats that show anytime you can make the opposition throw outside the edge of the 8, the percentages drop significantly, and you only need a half a shot.
So here's Pierce looking for the blank, final stone at number 2. There we go. Still no score after 2. We'll be back right after this.
Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Back here in Vernon, end number 3. And folks, you guys have missed a lot of action through the first 2 ends. But has ended with a lot of posturing and 2 blanks. And Pierce still has the hammer here. Now we see a center guard up there, so possibly a little bit different action coming on here, Shawn.
Yeah, center guard up, and the come around attempt just sails through the back of the house.
So here's Tianxi Guan. And they're going to go with double centers, so we should get some action.
And for only the second time in the game, there are 2 rocks in play. The last time they had 2 rocks in play, they made a double on the next attempt. Can't do that yet. Can't even move those stones. They're both got a piece of the center line in the no-tick zone.
Right, and with that being the case, gonna bring it around. Asking Nick to do that.
Threw the house on his last attempt, so he's got to bring some weight off, but this is a long ways out, too. Moving nice at the end, and you can see Matt Blanford swinging around so that he can brush from the same angle as Cody Johnston to try to get it to curl a little bit more. That's a great job on the brush to get that as far behind as they did. It's almost completely buried.
Buried and in a good spot depth-wise. So now we have Ji-Yu Wang. Looks like he's going to try to corner to this one.
He's got tighter line coming by the Geurts, but doesn't seem to be curling quite as hard. This might be a little stronger. Close to the same weight. That's funny, it had tighter line coming by the guards, but did not get to the face of the yellow.
Could be an instance of just going down that path a few times, keying it up a little bit.
Slight difference in release. It's hard to say. Something to keep an eye on, though.
So now Cody's going to be asked to dig this out and roll in front.
Get a good roll here. It puts a lot of pressure on. They'll make sure they're by the guard and then sweep for curl.
As the other, they clear it out, and it does leave them sitting 1-2, but angle there for a double for sure.
Yeah, should be able to stick around after you make the double too, which is important. You roll out. Gives Brent a chance to duck around.
Here's Wang. This is a relatively quiet wave.
He might just be trying to hit and roll under. No, playing the double.
And they do stick around, so made with very nice touch. Definitely a credit to the striking bands and how lively the stones are. Now, are you looking to roll back under here?
I think you are. This is up high enough in the rings. You're safe to roll under. But if you're not going to roll under, you saw them switch the sweep at the end to hold it straight. You roll a little farther away, and it makes it a tougher hit pull for your opposition.
Trying to make this hit and long roll the way back in.
Yeah, it's a very long roll now. You know, if you had the last rock here, you probably wouldn't want to make this roll. You'd be behind the tee line, but the Chinese, they're happy to clutter up the middle and try to get a force. It's going to roll too far, but that's a good attempt. There's nothing for them to lose by overrolling.
Surprised Pierce didn't look to duck under there.
No. And I said it's more of a veteran play here. You just hit the back one. He wants to keep the blank alive. Pierce doesn't want to be in behind those guards at all. Shu is happy to be behind the guards, even in the back of the house like this. It's the kind of thing that forces the score here.
Both teams being very careful not to step out too far in the early going, and a little game of cat and mouse here.
Well, and some of it could be timing too. Like right now, we're on third's last stone. This is, traditionally, if you were going to come around, this is when you'd love to do it. You don't love the fact that you've got to score 2 points in the forefoot now. There's still plenty of room to do it.
Or I guess the other option would be to abort and try to just run off those guards.
Too late, I think. If you made the double peel, they just split the rings and you're forced. Talked about both possibilities here. Myself, I'd be coming to the top of the forefoot. Come right down to the back one, they follow you down, and ultimately you're still probably forced to win.
So here's Blanford. This one has a bit of curling to do.
Yeah, tumbling by the guard, that's for sure.
do get shot stone out of it, but I don't know if they're going to be thrilled with that angle.
The angle might not upset them because they could see half of their own stone if they needed to remove that blue right now. And if skip stones here, yeah, skip stones. So if Xiao came down and sat right on the face of that, you could probably blast both blues and the yellow stays. I wonder if they would prefer to have this in front of the tee line. Come to the back when you're in good shape to force. Put this biting the top of the button when you're in shape to steal. And I'm afraid to say I haven't seen this team play yet, so I don't know which way they lean on these types of shots.
So first skip rocket coming for Xiao Ming.
Oh, it's nice when they point. Going to the top of the button.
Around both the guards now. I just want to get the depth of the line that you want.
That's pretty good. Maybe a couple of inches too deep.
If you're the Pierce team here, you might have some room to tap it just a little bit and set something up here.
Maybe, yeah.
I'd certainly be inclined to try.
Well, the problem with trying to tap it, you're talking about tapping it by the yellow, right?
Just a little bit.
And your shooter's going to pop open if you do that. Just tap it straight back. Just stay close to the nose of it. Because it'll touch the yellow and slide over a bit. I don't see how you're not scoring. This rock's never leading.
Right.
The issue will be how do you get your second. It really depends on where Xiao decides to put his last one. When you can get to the face of this, move it back about 8 inches. Just chisel off that yellow, and there'll be a pocket behind your shooter. The shooter's not going anywhere.
So Brent Pierce here with his first of 2 and end number 3.
It's a delicate shot. The draws that we've seen coming in here, and they've certainly curled plenty because the 2 draws that stopped in front of the tee line were dead behind cover. But the curl is slow and gradual. Just trying to move it. Let's see if he gets enough finish.
Johnson on the curl side right away.
Much tighter line by the guards, which he needs if he's going to try to move it. When he moved it, he rolled farther than the blue stone he pushed, so he's just sitting 1 for now. The problem is that there's a great wall behind the 4-foot and a Chinese team throwing into it.
Oh, you couldn't resist that one.
It was hard. It was hard. I don't know how you get it out. And I'm not even sure you could. He's half around. And he tried to blast it. Looking at the double of yellows in the back, it's probably there, but that doesn't look like a very different shot for him to score. But that might not be there. He's going to come down and take a look. I'm not sure it gets over top of the other blue at the other side of the 4-foot.
We can take a look at the overhead.
Yeah, take a look at can't really get into the side of that yellow rock. As you could look at it, where he's hitting the yellow furthest out on the right as we look at it over here. You can't get to the side of that rock enough to be pushing the other one dead sideways. He's still going to push it into the blue. Find out and talk about it, but I don't think it's there, so we're going to go back to playing the draw. And while we were looking at overhead, start the peak. I think if Brent had to use left half of his rock and Brent had to try to hit it somehow or other, if he jams it on that blue at the back of the 4-foot, I think it would still be shot rock.
I think the motion there by the third is telling us that Pierce is second and third right now.
Well, if that's what's gesturing, it's wrong. The blue is definitely second.
Oh yeah, Pierce is second. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Chu is second and third right. On point. Final stone for the Chinese skipper.
This is tighter line coming by than he had on his last one. It might be a little more weight though too. He's coming right to the back one.
There's room to score, but I don't think there's any way to get two.
If you could look at the hack end, there's a little bit of air between the yellow and the blue. If you go out for a bullet, maybe, but I'm not sure. You come off the yellow into the back end of that blue, keep it out in front. There's no place else for your shooter to go. But yeah, I don't think they're just playing the draw to come down to that blue stone. If there was a little more air, you might have a go at it. But if you were to ever rub that red and that blue on the way by, it's not leaving.
It's up to you. I mean, you had line men that I think that you would be dropped off the same line you just through. Yeah, I don't think I would have. Yeah, I mean, right now you would. If you bump it 1 foot, you're going to touch the button and he's not going to touch the button. But if you want this one, I don't care. You.
Going through a couple other options.
Well,
We're going to come back to the draw.
His last one, the curl on this side is very slow, very gradual. He's got to get to the inside. So they briefly talked about drawing the other direction, but nobody's played that yet, you said. You get to the nose on this even if you tap it back.
All right, decision made. One last final breath. And Brent Pierce. The final stone of end number 3. Needs to get right to the button. Manage the line now. It's got to get past the guards. Now you got to make sure the curl is good. Get over, work it over, escort it on in, and that is good enough for the score. It's be a single for Pierce. He takes a 1-0 lead after 3. We'll be back from Vernon after this.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
3 ends in the books, a single point on the board. And now we're going to get our first look at the Chinese team here with Hammer of the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic from Vernon, BC, here on Curling Stadium. Glad to have you with us. And Geurts brings her first stone into the rings, and now we have a corner guard coming up for the Chinese. Now, gonna throw a guard on that. Now, doesn't look like he's taking a lot of ice.
Well, no, but if there's one side that's been going a little bit less, it's this side, and you can't be on the outside. It tends towards the center line. That's the side to cover. Line showing half a rock here on the outside, and see if you can tempt the Chinese to make a play on it. Just wouldn't stop.
Did not. It is indeed a center guard, and is part of your favorite no-tick zone.
She looking to come around the corner guard. Thought he might let that start in a game that has been played so close to the vest by both teams.
Maybe a little indication that both teams are willing to break the seal here, so to speak, and get down with it. Whew, just makes it past that guard. That took a left turn. That's tucked nicely under.
Yeah, and this is still just the 5th stone of the end, so you can't peel the guard. Placing one, thinking about the corner freeze.
So the guard's going to be the call. So what would the benefit be to the freezing down to the one in the blue in the rings as opposed to the guard?
Well, if you get the corner freeze and stay on the broom side, you probably can assume that there's not going to be a blank yet. You're trying to force that you're not in a great steal position, no matter how you look at it. That stone in the corner, 4-foot spot. Right now, anyway, it doesn't look like it's likely to steal. You expect the team to be able to draw that, and you're off the center line. But you guard this, and you force the Chinese team to do work to open things up. You want to get 15 feet short of where it's going to end up. That's what we call a really tight guard. Boy, they can almost put the angle or go behind.
I think they can. Roll behind their corner, all the way across. Or just
I'd say just behind the yellow. You roll behind the corner, they're going to try to run them all, which still would have to make it, but make it the ends behind. Try to roll in behind the yellow, and you don't want to be dead buried behind the opposition stone. Because gosh darn it, these teams are all good at the runbacks, and you roll dead behind it, and they make the runback absolutely perfect, and they're guarding their own stone.
The double did not get a roll at all. Did you see enough of that to make the double himself?
He can roll underneath, but he won't be shot rock. And that's what's frustrating. You roll underneath and you're not shot. You could, in a mean, it matters to keep it in play. You could try to roll and just roll a couple of inches edge to edge, and then you get a piece underneath. Let them hit and roll back outside, and then you might, after it's been hit 2 more times, it might be high enough to have a chance for the double. Even nose hit might not be bad here if they try to roll under and only get half under. It's a pretty short run, and the angle might be there for the double on that.
So here comes the sound from Cody. On it nearly right out of his hand is Blanford.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to get by the front one.
Ooh, just do squeak by.
It's just past the guard, so it's all the way out in the open.
They did get shot rock, but I don't know how much of a plus that is.
We're not going to know until we see where this one ends up. A chance for, where are we at here? This is still, this is the second stone.
It's the second from Ji Wang.
This is really curly. Would have liked to roll under his own. Not going to get by the front one.
Gonna hang on at all? No, it's gonna skitter through.
But you know what? That was good awareness to get off the brush to make sure they hit the guard thick enough to go over the top of the own stone at the 8 foot. If they would have disturbed that on the way by, it would have been buried anymore. As it is, it's still buried second shot, and it's a problem for Brent Pierce. They're going to play the run back, try to get both blues here.
So Blanford makes his way back to the hat. Down, you're on the one. Ooh, just grazed the second one.
And I have to push it back, so it's still half undercover.
And this gives them the Chinese team an opportunity to split the runs here.
Yep.
So how far do you want to roll this, Shawn?
Probably to like to the edge of the floor. I don't think you want to be behind the yellow on the other side. I think if you get that far over, there's a chance that Brent plays the short run back. Edge of the 4, like you'll be in the 8. This is going to have to prove it. Roll. Boy, they got good brushing on that to get it across the ball. Still angle there for the double. Needed to roll about another foot. I don't think it would have been too flat, too far between them.
So you see Pierce there doing some housekeeping, indicating the double is forthcoming.
Gonna have to have some weight on this. It's very flat. And the in-turn so we get the gear effect off his rock.
Firing on down, off the one, working on over. Just caught it too thick there.
Yeah.
They are shot stone. We're facing the same problem. Xiang is going to try to get a little bit of a better split on him this time.
Yeah, a little bit more roll. about a 4-foot roll here. Just get to the edge of the 4-foot on the other side. You'll still be in the 8-foot pit. Boy, when the last one they were sweeping for curl, this one they have to hold it up. That quiet weight, even hitting it that thin, he stays in the 8-foot. He is behind the tee line.
Here we see that good brushing. Sorry, Shawn, and it flips on, and you do tuck it under there.
Yeah, but that goes back to what I was saying. I don't think you want to be under the yellow, and certainly you didn't want to be under the yellow if you're rolling that steep. You end up behind the tee line and behind the yellow. Brent can get anything on the corner of this. It's tough to do anything about it. Maybe try to run the yellow back and kill all three of them. It still has to be made. This is your get out of jail card for Brent Pierce. You can never get 3/4 to the face here. I don't see it leaving.
So the first of the fourth on the way for Pierce.
Should be close. That usually means they're waiting for a line call. Oh, might have waited too long.
Try to get just a little bit too cute. Well, now Pierce is going to go from trying putting the force on to how do I ever not give up free?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Xiao has to be a little bit careful. If you can't hit this right on the nose, you hit it right on the nose, you can probably queue up a triple. The greedy play, he's thinking just hit the corner of the yellow, in which case you only need to make a double. You've got a good chance for three. If you just make the double on the two yellows, Brent will have a double. But you always outshot for two. Yeah, just want to hit this on the nose. Make the double on the give him a double back and take your two. Understand the temptation. You can make this hit just to the corner of that yellow. Just all you have to do is overlap it just a little bit. There's no double left. He's playing the way that, so that's what he's playing.
So the first on the way for the Chinese skipper. We're in the fourth.
Just bumps off of it. Double's still there. Freeze is still there too.
I think that's playing fire though, don't you, buddy?
It sure is. But I mean, the double's not a gimme. It's still got to be made. If you don't make the double, it's three.
So I guess the question would be is, I just, speaking for myself, I would probably be just maybe a touch wary after I had one, after we just lost the line in the first draw.
Yeah, well, that's a valid consideration. Of course, the other side of that is they only just missed the first draw, and they just saw it. So you should have been able to go to school on that. What you need to do with the second one. He's going to play the double. This has to be made, and these straight backs are never as easy as you think they look.
double attempt trying to avoid the big end. Now to hold the line. Pretty close. They do make the double. And roll to be shot stoned.
Cody is swooping the roll across the cup. Is there any kind of guard I could try to roll this behind? Take a look as it rolls across. You'll actually see him look behind himself, looking for a guard. Roll over, and turns back to look. Yeah, there's no guard there.
Oh, he tried to conjure.
He tried, yeah.
So it'll be a hit and stick on the beak. To get the deuce. Final rock in number 4. On the way from the Chinese. That is made, and the deuce is in the book, so you hang 2 for blue. It's 2-1 after 4 from Vernon. Go back.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Back here, 5th end action. It's 2-1 score in favor of the team from China. And just a little misstep out of Team Pearson. They're lucky to get away with only giving up 2.
Yeah, they were. Brent's first will probably throw well enough to make. Just missed the line call. Couldn't get away from him and crashed in front of him.
Center guard goes up to the Chinese. That corner guard attempt does slip into the rings. They certainly won't like that, but I'll tell you what you should like, Shawn. You should like Curling Zone on Facebook and YouTube. That way you never miss any draws. And subscribe, ring that little bell. It'll really help us out and help you catch all the best action from around the world.
The hit didn't get quite under cover. Brent's got a decision to make. If you hit it again, you're still in the rings. You could still throw a corner guard here. This is like a 4th. I wonder if part of the consideration here is you blank 5. Have the hammer at 6. Pretty good spot.
game almost feels like it's starting to get late quick, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So now the second center's going to go up.
It'd be interesting to see how Brent wants to play this, because you could go after the double peel and go hard for the blank here. This is the 5th stone of the end. You can start moving guards after this.
That's probably a few feet longer than they would have liked.
Well in line.
So, looks like you have your answer there, Shawn.
Yeah.
Coming in.
Tough to move it. It's interesting. I just saw this turn, so they're going to play it again. We haven't seen, except for now, we haven't seen anything as anxious. Let's put it to over curl as we did on that rock. You want to at least get fully buried if you're playing this turn. On the other turn, you could cue it up on the corner a little bit, and you're okay. Pressure's down early. He's got room. He's got room and a lot of rotation.
So the shot from Wang's going to come right to the corner.
It's the in-turn, pardon me, the out-turn now for try to come down now. He almost needs to move that blue a little bit. If he can. It's half a rock under, so you have to be tight to the front ones if you can move it.
This has all the line in the world right now. Put on the blinker, it's starting to make that turn. Does it get all the way over? Comes up just short, but has a decent angle.
Yeah, he's got a corner underneath, so it works. Shu has a decision to make. Do you come and sit on the face of that one? He could play the blue onto the yellow shot rock right now. He's looking at the guard also. It's not a bad call because he's still got a shot on the other side. Brent really doesn't.
So, say he was going to throw this card. What does that? How's that flip it on to Brent?
Well, Brent's gonna have to make a decision what he wants to do. He's got angle on that yellow onto the blue right now. If you're guarding it, that looks like that's what they've called. They won't have a shot on the out turn. They don't have a shot on the in turn, and the Chinese team does. You may see him have to walk up and peel a guard just so that the Chinese team can't play that shot on the other side. All the indications was they were playing the guard. This is going to come right in.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see.
Everything's getting congested. I think.
If I hit the blue wall like you see, do I drag it on to the blue? The yellow on the blue?
I don't even see anything that Brent could freeze to. Deal with Geurts. And ask Matthew to come down and take a look at the angles.
So you can make the double peel, and then
It's not easy.
might possibly see a bird come back.
Yeah, you would for sure. But it's hard to move anything out in the house without hurting yourself. Oh, play the in, turn around, try to get to the blue second shot. Sit on the corner, maybe break them up. The problem is then there's a slash on the blue on the other side. I think that might be what they're playing on. Come down, sit on that blue. You're going to need to move the yellow a little bit because to play this, you have to be trying to create an escape path for that blue stone with the second shot. So you need to tap it a little bit. You got to get real close to the corner. Stay on the outside. You just knock it out of the angle. This is a tough shot.
Here's Matt Blanford with this first.
Just needs to curl a mile. Yeah, they decided they're better off to go by it than what they were going to hit.
That just had too much weight right off the jump, it looked like.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm not sure exactly what their call was. I would have thought they were only trying to throw back 4-foot weight.
One thing I'm sure of is that's not how they drew it up.
Nope.
So how do you capitalize here if you're Chinese?
Well, I mean, they've got the same shot that Matt just played. They wouldn't necessarily need to move anything yet. They just freeze in there. You could play the little slash right now. The problem is that the blue is so thin on the yellow, it's hard not to have it spin out into the open. And I think they settled on the freeze. You've also got shots on that rock in the middle too. You don't have to play it yet. This kind of looks like the only thing Brent Pierce has to get out of trouble. So you freeze right on the corner of throwing it. Now he's got nothing. You've still got shots on both sides.
Kind of like that old way of thinking, you know, what would my opponent want to do? Well, I'll do it first.
Yeah. Pierce has got shot rock.
This is where it usually takes the breaks. Now they're going to shift on over to the curl side.
Just needs to sit on it. Doesn't want to move anything necessarily. Moves at an inch or two, but that's still good. He needs the blues queued up.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
So Brent Pierce sitting shot and third, but in a precarious spot, even though he has hammer.
Yeah. All I'm seeing is the chisel in the yellow. a matter of killing that blue stone, but you got the middle yellow. Trying to play on the straight sideways, and just to push that blue stone with a second shot over it and change the angle.
I would definitely love to hear what Brent's saying, because he's certainly saying with emotion.
Yeah, well, they're in trouble. I mean, and he knows it.
I
think
take a look at it.
I think what he's looking at is a similar shot to what I was just looking at, but he's looking at chiseling the blue one, and the critical thing there is you've got to try to get it as much to the front of the blue as just through as possible, and you might be able to move all three of them. You're not going to get them all out, but you might be able to move all three of them. You've got to hit that first one very thin, though. If you're thick on the first one, it comes back into the stone at the top of the forefoot. When it's almost dead stuff in the big one, it's just biting the floor.
I think a benefit to that would be is you're going to open up a couple rocks, and maybe you have something you can angle off of later.
Yeah, maybe. I think if you're going to move the one that's sitting second shot right now, you're going to have to throw it over the way. This is especially because of you're hitting the first one so thin. Good look at it from this angle. So if he hits that first blue one too thick, it's coming back into that yellow one, and that could leave them at a bad angle. And I think if you're playing this, you don't want to move the yellows at all. This thin piece on the blue. Trying to hang the shooter on the corner, which to me would mean they're not throwing this very hard. I don't love that call, because then you're trying to hit it thicker, and that's how the blue comes back into the yellow. I'm seeing this as thin as you would hit it. You're going to lose the shooter for sure.
Tricky little shot on the way.
It's not what they called, but they're going to make what I called.
Ooh, he did just kiss the blue on the way by. He did just kiss the blue on the way by.
But he still made what I called, though, and he changed the angle on the other rocks.
Frustration for him, but it might actually be a little better than they thought.
It would have been better if they hadn't touched the first blue.
So now
the flash off the blue, but he's not going to get shot rock. He's going to get through the second shot.
Certainly is a game of millimeters. So the first on the way for the skipper.
Touched his own a little bit, still pretty good.
And that leaves one extremely lonely yellow rock.
clicking the button and you're still in trouble.
Would you ever place one in the crotch of those two blue?
Well, you could. I mean, if you do, though, Chinese team's going to come down because those shot rock's gone. But it just depends what the angle is like what's left. The other side of this thing, ours would be the one in the middle, whereas if you don't play it, they're still going to play into that crotch, and it's their stone there, and you've got no way to get in off that.
Right, and if you play to that area there, then if they do hit that, you're always going to have a draw for the button.
You'll have to draw to the button, yeah. But you're going to have that anyway. If you don't throw it, you still play something you'll have to draw.
Shot on the button, but certainly not in command of the end. I think he's going to bring it right in between those two blue stones. Might be a case where you make the best shot you can make, it still might not be good enough.
Well, that's just it, yeah. It's hard to look that far ahead and see. You leave this where he could play the little double slash, which it's hard not to. And you don't know how they're going to splash after that. You don't know if it's going to be anything lined up and you can still get it shot rock. This is going to be a straight guard now. And maybe that's what they decided to play. You could go and just try to pick the yellow out, get the side of the blue in the forefoot, try to get it that way. You can see enough to pick it. Looks like you come and try it. You got a quarter.
Do that, you're going to leave the draw just the pit hole.
If you crash the blue, then still a good shot for two. So. Afford to play this fairly aggressively. Like if the blue's not there, I don't think you can come in the face of the yellow and get two.
Give me the blue stone, Shawn. I'm sure I can screw it up enough.
Well, you can play this, if you're sure you can't get two, you can play this fairly aggressively. Let's make sure we're tight. If we rub the blue up, I just don't want to get air going by here.
On this one pretty quickly. Now we're off, so likely very close. Gotta squeeze past the guards, past your own, just get past it, and you do pick it out, and they will lie first, second, and third, leaving only a draw to the pit.
And this pressure has to dive past the guards. You can see that's when his legs move out of the way, so you can see him just by. This is the same draw, I think, as I recall that Brent had to make for his single and third. A little bit more shrapnel on the way, but essentially the same draw.
Gonna take just a little bit more ice and about half the stone in the button. Does Brent Pierce.
You guys remember pointing your toe to the hat? You guys remember pointing your toe to the hat?
So much congestion to this. The extra pressure on this is it's hard to miss this draw and only give up one.
Final stone of the fifth, facing three, needs the button.
Line got tight on this early, so they got to go all the way.
Got a to hold the line and not
It's
overcook
light.
it. It's light all day. And that is a steal of 3. So, big steal of 3 for the Chinese team, and 5-1 after 5 here in Vernon. We'll be back on Curling Stadium after this.
It is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Don't forget your brooms. Come on. Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Back here at end number 6. Pierce says one thing that he wants, the hammer in the even end. One thing that he doesn't want is to be trailing by 4, Shawn.
Yeah, that's never part of the game plan, but it is what it is. You got the hammer here in the 6th. Go after your deuce here. 5 left, 3 guards in. 3 unders happen. Now the no-tick zone only applies to rocks on the center line, so they're going to make a play at the tick shot here. And I'm a little surprised when you play this. I had a chance to do some of the doubles games this weekend from Martinsville. You see a lot of teams when they're worried about a corner guard like this, they will play it same way that it's kind of evolved from the doubles game, where they play it from the outside in and just try to push it in the rings where they can hit it on the next one. He's making the same call, but coming at it from the middle and made it.
Called and made. Did leave their blue stone hanging out there.
Yeah, and this is interesting. I thought Brent could guard the yellow here.
Now he's like coming to that, yeah.
They're going to stick to play in the corner guard. You expect the Chinese team to play the one in the middle, and then you get a chance to come around, but it's tempting. The blue stone's now behind the tee line. Just. Yeah, they're going to guard the yellow. I like this call. It's aggressive. I mean, things can go wrong here, but...
Well, I think you need aggressive right now at this point.
Yeah, well, you could play patient. You could play the corner guard, let them play the one in the middle, and then you go around. You've got, the kind of setup you would have had in the 4 rock. Sure, looking at really hard. You might even like to just touch the center line with this so that you can't feel it, but you want to just touch. You've got to cover that stone in place.
That's exactly what they did.
Pretty good. You would like it tighter, but it's a pretty good line.
They retained a moment of running their own guard in there.
Yeah, or coming off it, one or the other. 'Cause you could peel your own guard, and that's probably the easiest way to get to your shot block with enough room to kill it. You don't have to kill it here.
Looks like they're just going to draw down to it.
This is the safest shot to play, but at the same time, for Brent Pierce, you're happy now because you've got some rocks in play. Still got some work to do to manipulate angles, so try to get things set up here, but you've got some sort of...
This looks to be just a skosh heavier than they wanted. We are going to move the yellow a little bit. Angles are still set up pretty well in it.
Yeah, if you get to the inside of that blue, or I guess outside if you're playing from the other turn, which you could, he is. Might be nice to move the blue just a little. There's enough angle yet that they could play the blue onto shot rock or second shot rock. You move it back a few inches.
So here's Cody. And here it goes. It takes that curl.
Line's looking really good. I don't know if he's got enough weight to move it. He actually lost the line. He overcurled it a bit. Feeling the guard. Probably putting it back and probably peeling it.
Field, and it does roll over to be another corner guard.
Yeah, that's when you could actually go around.
When you do that here, Shawn?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could go around here. The problem is the angles aren't as good as they could have been in the house. You could always guard that. It's timing. It's an issue with timing. That's an interesting game. You come right around everything, and nothing is lined up to come right back to that button stone if you get it. It's a tough shot. It's over buried on the stone in the 8 foot.
That's an awfully precise draw to try to make.
Yeah, he's looking at playing the split. The problem is he's going to make double dots. I get what Matt's looking at, though. They overcurled that last draw, so the yellow blue at the top isn't angled to provide the yellow blue. It doesn't curl quite that much. They can always get that blue at the top out without disturbing their own mark.
Might open it up and they green back and might be our 30 that way, right? Yeah.
Going to come around the corner guard. It's tough for them to make the double on the yellows. They can move both yellows. Hit the first one, did enough to make sure that it goes by. It's going to drag on the second one, not towards the second stone. So you have to hit it probably thick to make sure you kill the second shot stone. And it's staying somewhere. Nice line coming in.
Settle on down. And it will right at the tee line. Well thrown stone.
You can try to get all three of them, I guess. Thin on the first one. Just depends whether or not those two stones are close enough together to drag or not. My first thought was that they are. Now as I look at it from the overhead and keep in mind as you get closer, there's probably 5 inches anywhere between those two stones. So now I'm not positive that they drag. The other side then, try to slash it towards that stone. It was just the have to get by the blue. depends if that's going to drag or not, and I'm not sure. They might be too far apart to drag.
So, what's this shot going to look like?
Yeah, well, I'm guessing where the broom's put down that it's not going to be light. I don't think you can make it. He's playing the slash double, and I don't think you can make it if you touch off the other blue. So this is going to be clean. Pick this clean off the face of the blue. Try to catch the yellow at the edge of the 12-foot.
Coming down with a lot of pace, trying to catch just the edge across and over the top. We get clear that other yellow out.
It didn't drag because it sliced it back after it made contact, but left yellow sitting second and third. Greg Pierce has got a chance to set up his 3 here.
This one might be just to come underneath that wing.
Yeah, I mean, you could hit the one in the middle and sit 3 right now, but it's a long time to try to hold it without leaving a double anywhere. The danger in coming around is he plays the hit on the open and rolls into the 8-foot. You need a double now somewhere to bring these 2 back into play. You could tell I'm thinking along with them. You know, if we were 2 shots later in the end, for sure, you'd probably just hit the one in the middle.
And by holding it, you mean that every time you hit a rock, you advance the angle and make.
Yeah, or they could roll one close together, and they only need 1 double, and you don't have a chance for 3 anymore. The shot they haven't talked about at all, which is an option, it's something you can consider. You could freeze the shot stop. He tries to blast it out, he's got him to shoot, and then you come around and he's out the ball.
So Matt Blanford. Looking for the come around here.
It's the same line as the last one. It's a little bit. I don't think they'd ever try to draw in there. That's flirting with 4 if you play the draw over there. He's going to hit the open one. And try to roll in just far enough to make sure he's sitting 2.
And then it will be up to Pierce to try to generate a double back on these wrecks eventually.
Yeah, and that's why you see Matt's still got 1 left. He's stayed down at the other end. They're going to take a look at the angles, and they'll probably make a decision on how they're going to try to get these rocks grouped and plan out the next 3 shots right here. And I think putting that one rolling towards the shot rock.
So that's step 1.
The freeze is still an option too.
Now, just playing devil's advocate, wouldn't that invite a freeze in return?
Well, let him. You freeze. Take a look at where the back end you rock. You freeze. If he freezes on top again, now the yellow's in the middle. It's not going anywhere, and there might be angles that basically triple the blues. He'd have to hit it. He couldn't just dead freeze and have to go the back. Still, there's probably a double set 3. They're going to play the freeze. I don't mind this at all. I think they're playing the freeze. I guess that could be the same hit, the same ice for the hit. Might be the hit. The hit and roll to the middle is their first indication. Like if you make the hit roll to the 8-4, or maybe just bite in 4, I don't see how they don't leave you a double, because you're going to roll a little deeper when you roll in. If they try to roll away again, same thing, they're going to roll deeper. By that time, you should have angle for a double.
Well, here comes the hit. Trying to make it curl a little bit. You need to stay out there. Come on over.
As much roll as they would have liked. Still, if he nose hits it, there's a double. And it doesn't have a lot of room to roll to the outside. If it rolls too far, they don't have to play the double. It's hard to get these even.
Gerry, you want just a little bit farther. Yeah, there you go.
Nose hit the doubles a little on the thin side, maybe a third of the rock, but it's still quite makeable.
Somebody had a question from the chat asking why he didn't just pop out the shot stone with the last one.
You hit the shot stone, they hit and roll to the other side, and the rocks are too spread out. You can never get back to the double. As a general rule, you always hit the one wider, try to come back to the middle, because it's hard for them to spread them out. And here you see they left. That's actually a really good angle for the double. Just trying to hit two. They have to make the double.
Right, because that's, you know, if you don't make that shot, that's always the abort button for the Chinese, just to lay one on top of those two undercover, and they're never scoring.
Yeah, that's an option. Yeah, it depends where you roll. If you're just trying to hit and roll. I'm not saying you never try this, but it's one of those things where probably Matt in the house needs to be aware of the angles this comes off, because if you ever come to the top of the second stone, it might spin up and over. Now that's a long ways to spin, but I don't imagine he's throwing this too quiet. If you come off that stone that you're trying to hit here, hit about half, come to the top end of the shot stone, kick out the back. There's going to be some action on this shooter. It's going to spin towards those corner guards. Let's put it that way. And if you're thin enough, you can just dead stuff it right there. But come to the top of that road. Somebody's got to be aware of it. Start throwing that way. Can we get it all the way to the corner guards?
So Geurts with his first here in the sixth, looking to double off these blues.
Maybe too thin.
One squeaks the other one out the back and behind, and they will not hang on.
And that's huge, because if it hangs on anywhere, Jude probably has to hit it. Now he can play the draw, and if he gets anywhere on the corner of those yellows, the end is gone.
So close to being good.
Just over curl the hair. And you know, you saw them going back and forth on whether or not it needed to curl or hold straight. Back and forth on which pressure needed to be down. Just lost it a little bit. still has to be made, but he's seen it twice this end from the other team. He knows it's there. Doesn't even really need to be that tight to the guard. Watch the two thinking after one and Cody the other, and they took kind of the same path. They really moved from the guard by now. So a little bit of a soft release, and it's curling early.
Right out of his hand. Gonna make it past the guard. Now, will they be able to carry it to where they gotta go? And the sweepers take care of the skipper there.
There's nothing crazy running a blue bar, but keep in mind, every draw we've seen by there, and even that one you saw it, it's 6 inches by the guard. If you ever skinny the guard,
can you chisel it out?
That's what I'm wondering. Or the other thing is, if those two stones are touching, if you come down with enough weight to move it, just kick that one out the side and miss the other one altogether. I mean, it's probably not for 3, but it might be for 2 if they're touching. I mean, that's really hard to tell from the camera. Close. If it doesn't miss the second yellow, I don't think it ever does. If they're touching it, it probably pops over. If they're touching it, you could probably get half a rock, and it misses the second.
Oh, there's a great shot of it. They do look to be frozen.
Like if they're touching it, you could get to it with package weight, get half a rock, it probably misses the second. You're going to lose one of the yellows. And it's a really tough shot. Brent has decided it's not worth the risk. I'm not sure about that. 1 point here leaves you 3 points down without last rock. The stats start. You kind of need a deuce here, and then it's steal, steal, steal. But at least it's only stealing one at a time.
So final stone at number 6. Throwing the 8-foot for a single. Does have to go to get there. And they drag it just far enough. It's on the board, but he trails by 3. Headed to the 7th end from Vernon after this.
Stage featuring high quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability and minimal installation, offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Back here in the 7th end, it's the Chinese team with a 3-stone lead and less rock here in the 7th. The center guard goes up the first group.
Looking for the long guard in the no-tick zone. They got the long guard part of it, but it looks like it's off the line. It is really long. It's not even in the overhead shot. Or is that? Might have the wrong overhead shot. We were looking at the shooter's end.
We are set up for the tick.
Yeah.
You're right, it is out of the
that qualifies as a long guard. He's going to get this awfully thick, so now they're trying to get all the way across the face. I don't know if you want that through. It's not going to leave the range.
I was hoping we might see the ever elusive -1 guard. What's your record, Shawn, for how high you've seen one in play above the hot line?
Oh. I know I've seen it nose hit a couple of times, so it's been out there a ways. I've seen it at times where somebody thought that rock comes off. No, it doesn't. Not if it touched another stone. This time they get a piece of the center line.
So that one can't be removed. Now they can go after the one that they pushed in. You had played that shot.
Brent Pierce comes around and then the deal's going to start. And for Pierce, down 3 with 2 ends to play, you're going to have to steal a deuce somewhere on the line. Pretty tough to score the deuce now, this end. You'll probably sit to if you want to at the end of the end, but she will just hit one that will give you a single if he has to.
Pierce left to draw in here. This stone to be good enough to steal with, because you might have to try to guard it for the rest of the end. It's pretty good. It is pretty well dead under cover and down the field.
It's got a bite of the button. They're going to peel the guards. You're going to have to guard that stone for probably the rest of the end. And it's a good enough rock to try to steal with it. So even right down to Brent's last one, you'll probably throw one more guard and let them try to outdraw it.
So the first peel is made. And now we're going to go into shampoo mode. Lather, rinse, and repeat.
I've said before, these ones get... It feels very tiring for a team that's trying to come back in a situation, because you're throwing the guard in. So from the time he leaves the hacks here, you have 25, 26 seconds to throw this guard. By the time you get back down to the other end, that guard's already sitting in the back corner. So you have to throw again.
Coming down to the final stages here of the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic for Vernon Basic. Schmel and Shawn Joyce, we're pleased that you joined us here on Curling Stadium this afternoon. The guard's a little bit deeper. Still just a straight peel indicated. And away it goes. So now more of the same. It's really a test of nerves for
And you can see where the broom is. We talked about it right at the opening of the game. Just a little bit straighter. Championship day, that certainly to me looks a little bit tighter. For ice, now the nice thing about that, and I say that just does not set that back a little bit, is that early on in the event, the rocks were ultra aggressive, and they tend to be right after you sand them. It's hard to throw 5 perfect guards on a stone. It's so easy to overcurl one. As you hear, Matt got a little bit back on the release, and did he get back to cover? Yes, he did last.
You ever think about playing the run back or just peel?
You could try it now. There's angle there, and they're close enough together because it's one or the other. You either straight peel it, or if you catch it coming by over the top. At this level, you can tell when they're playing. You know, I've played on teams where I put the broom down, tell them I'm playing the straight peel, but actually I'm playing the double peel over the top. Because you can't tell some guys they're playing the double peel, or they'll try to come out of their shoes. They get so excited.
I've never been guilty of that. So now, Matt Blanford's going to have to bear down and make the guard. Burn up the same line multiple times in a row now.
Better line up. You couldn't think about playing the double peel. You can't. When they're that lined up, you don't dare play it because there's the risk that you absolutely stuff it and stay on front guard.
So the peel attempt away from the team from Beijing. 22 million inhabitants, the most highly populated national capital.
Or just a fountain of knowledge. Or something.
My friends would say both. Obscure fact ability is not as impressive as it used to be now that anybody can instantly fact check me.
Yeah, it was nice when you could make statements like that and you didn't have to have any, as long as you sounded convincing, nobody could really do anything about it.
Well, some people still try that. Sometimes they even run for office. And the stone's on the way. One does not look light, buddy.
No. And I can't really sweep it to curl it either because it's got a lot of weight. He's going to close the gap. He's in the rings.
You can see the look in Matt's eyes, just begging it.
Yeah. And curl. He's got enough angle to take her running to double again. 5 feet between them.
So obviously the most important thing here is not to stuff it.
Yeah. But you got a good look when Gerts in the house judging the angle. It doesn't have to go too close to the nose to have a chance of this double when this goes together. 3/4 is probably lots. 2/3 maybe.
Which looks to be a little bit on the outside, and it's just going to be a peel, which is fine. So now how tight do you come here?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. it's all about the line. Like the same line he just had is okay. You might like it a little or a lot higher.
Shot. Force a tough draw to stay in the game.
Just needs to skate to close the hole. It does. Look at the slash. I wondered if he might. It's thin. It's really thin. But you don't really need to stick it. You make contact with the yellow anywhere, you get one. It's probably not harder than drawing to half the button.
That's going to be the call.
You can't hurt anything playing it. And if you make contact with that yellow at all, the last shot of the game.
I guess you're going to throw this pretty firmly because you want to make sure that if you catch it anywhere, it goes.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to backwards think you don't have to come out of your shoes to throw up weight normal. Because you're hitting the first one pretty thin, so you're going to need a little bit of weight just because you're not going to carry all your shooters out.
Final stone of end number 7. The Chinese skipper grabs a piece, now drives it over, and just past it. It's going to be a steal of 1.
Quieter than I would have thought he was going to throw it. And that's the problem. Throw that quiet, you got to hit it pretty precisely.
So, still a breath of life there for Pierce. We'll be back for the final end after this.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Eighth end action for the Prestige Hotels and Resorts Curling Classic. The Schmel with Shawn, Joyce. And it is the team from China with the hammer and a 2-stone advantage coming home here.
Got that first center guard up a little tighter and just touching the center line.
So that's going to be the plan here for Pierce. 2 center guards.
2 center guards, both touching the center. Then you can't do anything with them right away, and he's got to steal 2 here. He's hoping against hope this one's going to end up behind the tee line. It's not looking good for him. There's 2 ways to steal 2. You've either got to get 2 rocks buried near the button, or you've got to sit 3 and hope it rolls out. I don't think the percentage is really high for mine. it certainly helps being able to throw two guards that they can't move right away. Anyway, this has got to hold the center line though, and I don't know if it's going to.
Hold the center line and get it across the hog. You do get across the hog, but it's well off the center. Interesting to see it. See a tick shot coming.
Could. They don't have to, actually. There's an angle to play the double peel right now. Can't play it yet, but it's there to play the next shot. You'd hate to just tick this into line with the other one. Like it's not a good guard now. Don't make it better. Whatever you do here.
So it's currently 7:39 a.m. in Beijing. So some fans on the early shift here.
And that will leave place if it goes back. It's maybe not in the no-tick zone, but it's still in the free guard zone. That goes back. Comes out of play. Turn my head quick enough to see how close they are to putting that in the right spot. It's pretty close, I think.
Yeah, it looks pretty good in there. Opponent seems to be okay with it. He's not at yes twice already. Don't see how Mike run either direction. We'll just put it back to where we just worked it from. Okay, so you have that second guard. Gonna draw one in here now. Motioning towards the back of the rings.
Yeah, to get around the blue in their shot mark position, he's probably going to have to be back 4, back 8. It's not even critical to be shot here. I think we're already at the point where he's got to be thinking about trying to sit 3 at the end of the end. Just angle on those front 2 guards.
So here's Cody Johnston. Past the guard, no problem. It does look to be a little spicy. The question is, how deep does it come? Looks for the T-line, the back 4, back 8. But as you mentioned, it's behind everything.
Yeah, that's fine for now. If you have to bury around that blue a couple of times, you got to have some room. This is a chance to get the double peel.
It's gonna just get the first one. It screams across the top.
I think before the long guard, critical to get them in line.
Throw the long guard here, then
can't come in too many times too soon. When you come in again, he just peels the other guard, and now
you're dead.
Well, I mean, that's ultimately going to happen anyway, but it's a question of how late in the end you do it, because Curley's going to leave the chance to play the double peel the other way. You play the long guard, you're hoping he has to just peel the ball. At some point in the end, you're going to come around that bluestone again to the top of the back of 8. He's going to peel the guard, and you're going to have to move that blue one to sit 3. You're not going to have a guard at the end of the end. You're looking to sit 3 at the end. If you do it too soon, there is a double at the back. That's assuming that all of the shots I just talked about get made. There's going to be a double at the back. So you can't really make you move into the rings too early.
On this one, right out of his hand, it's not going to get the double peel. It's just in the inside. They They work hard, but still leave a corner guard.
Stone's first third stone. I think he has to have one more guard. I'd like to line it up better.
They entertain the idea of coming in now.
Yeah. You can. They might do it for you to peel the top one. Then you come corner freeze that one. You're still peeling the center guard. Then you come around the stagger. They blast it. You just have to draw to sit through it. It ultimately still ends up the same. You're trying to sit 3 and you're hoping for roll.
Yeah, a little rub on the blue.
That's pretty good.
Goodbye.
Yeah, you probably have to do one more guard now just because of the timing. If you come around now, you blast the top one. There's still a double in the house. Too many rocks left. Throw the guard. He peels it. You come around the stagger. Let him hit the stagger. Draw in, sit 3. And hopefully it all rolls out.
Final third stone for Geurts on the way.
The problem with all these scenarios when you start looking at the other team knows what you're looking at too. And every once in a while, they'll mess you up and they won't peel this guard. Because you still have to deal with that blue stone.
Okay, so if you, just for argument's sake, what would you do in lieu of peeling the guard?
You could draw. Sit 2 right now. That's what it's Brent do.
They make this peel.
Come around and take the risk that he draws somewhere. I don't think he's ever going to. That's another option, is try to freeze and leave everything in line. There's a better chance you leave a double. Stagger on the top 2. Stagger on the top 2. Come around the back 4 foot. He's probably got to do something to top. If you're coming around, you probably need to be shot this time. Not shot, that he doesn't have to hit it.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah. Pretty well top. I like that. I think, well, I think either back there or kind of this side.
Obviously, desperate times, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah. Thinking about the corner freeze for your yell, the problem with that is you make it really good. And I mean, you have to make it perfect to make it wrong. Otherwise, he's just, as long as he can make sure that at least one leaves, he's just going to allow.
So Brent Pierce and his team from New Westminister, British Columbia. Needs to make a shot here to keep themselves alive. Working hard, presumably for weight now. Both rushers down.
Line 2, they got to get by their own at the top of the 8 foot.
They will just squeak by. Not shot rock then.
Slides a little deep, yeah. Could just draw into the pocket.
If you draw into the pocket, I don't see how you ever sit 3.
Well, you don't. He's still content to just hit the top one. So you hit this top one. I guess if you're playing this, you wouldn't mind picking it clean, because then Brent's going to make a play on the blue one. When he does, you're going to be able to see the pocket on the 2 yellows. Double wide target. Pretty hard to hit and roll out on that.
Once again, have you seen me play? If possible. So this peel attempts on the way, trying to hit it out. Gonna clip it, loses on along the way, but leaves everything wide open.
Onto that same spot, basically. Just a little bit higher. And you're hoping.
Take another look at it.
Yeah. That tells me a couple things. Also tells me how it is. Yeah, he could put this back in the exact same spot that Dylan's in. Put it in the spot where if he's going to hit it, he's going to have to try to play the double into the back 2, and you're hoping he dead jams it onto one of them, or missing them altogether. And then you will have a choice to make. If you have that much separation, he could still draw. Are you going to draw against the loss in the 8th end? I don't know. I don't know this team well enough to know that.
Bring in the possibility of something terrible like a pick happening.
Yep. You have to keep this high enough so that he can't hit it on the nose in the second shot.
Doesn't look light. Needs to find the brakes. Can it find the brakes? Slow down, put some sand in front of it. Oh no, it's going to come all the way down to the field.
They did everything they could, and just a little deep on the last one. The shot still has to be made, but he's got more room for error. If you're just sitting at the top of the 8th with this, he knows hits it. He could very easily give up 2. He knows hits what he's looking for now.
There you see the line scores. Those 2 big ends in the 4th and 5th. Really changed the complexion here. Xiao Ming Shu. And the squad from Beijing. Final stone end number 8. Just needs to not give up 3.
As long as the shooter doesn't roll, he's good.
Right on the beak, and that is good for the victory. It'll be a 6-3 final, and that's a victory for the team from China here at the Prestige Hotel and Resorts Curling Classic. Congratulations to them. They'll take home a check of $6,000. And runner-up will go to Brent Pierce and his squad. We'll be taking home a check for $5,000. So, what are your takeaways there, Shawn?
Well, you know, it's an outstanding event and a great final here. Both teams played pretty well. If you want to look at the turning point, as you said, that 3 points. Brent makes the draw, and he had made that same draw in the 3rd and made that perfect one in the 3rd. Comes up a little short in the 5th, and it ends up being a big steal 3. Without that, we've got a close game, a lot of good shots, and even Brent's last one, it stops 3 feet short of where it did. Who knows? We might be playing an extra round. good game.
Absolutely, and for Pierce, he was the winner of this event last year. Second place this year, so still a very strong showing for them. And with that, that'll be all for us. We do thank you so much for joining us from Vernon, British Columbia. So, for Shawn, Joyce, Gerry at our studios in London, Ontario, I'm Dave Schmel. We thank you so much for watching on Curling Stadium. Have a pleasant day.
I'm not saying you're going away, but how does it feel to see him compete in this tournament like this? Always welcome to the Vernon. Last year we were able to win because of last year, so let's get back to it. I know it wasn't your game. You just saying with just some pressure doing that, just didn't come together with the team. Yeah, I don't think we are finessing the team. Pressure on them, so they played well. What they were.
Remember, was when I went that I clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.